If you're on a healing journey right now and you're trying to figure out how to heal your inner child, or if you even need to heal your inner child, then let's talk about that. Let's unpack it some. First off, how do you do it? How do you heal your inner child? You give your inner child what it never got before. So, in some cases, like in mine, there's going to be a lot of facets to that. And you're going to uncover, like, you think you've healed your inner child, and then you get into another situation and you're like, all right, there's more to go. And that's okay. A lot of us have a lot of things to unpack, a lot of things to get over. So let's talk about some ways to do that. Here's an example. And I'm using me and healing my inner child as examples for this. So I no longer have a relationship with my parents for good reason. So I've had to get through that and not just unpack things that happened in our relationship, but how do you heal? How do I heal young Jennifer, little Jennifer? What do I do about that? The first thing that I did was I knew that I needed to become my own parent. I'm almost 40 years old, but I'm parenting myself. And it's great, really. So find what that inner child needed and give that to it. So that's one way to start, is to be your own parent. Well, then, okay, how do I do that? Well, be the parent that you never had. Be the parent that you always wanted to be, that you always wanted to have. Be the parent maybe that you are right now to your child if you have one. Be that parent to you. Talk to yourself in that way. Give yourself the things that you never got. Another thing that you can unpack is, for me, I would get in these stubborn, like, almost like holding patterns, just of stubborn irritation and just pissed off when something may not be going my way. And it takes a lot to, get me worked up into that, but when it happens, it can sometimes last for hours. I think in my life it's probably lasted days before. And I had to understand that as a small child, I wasn't listened to. I wasn't seen, I wasn't heard, and I wasn't understood. So a part of me became almost feral. And through my spiritual awakening, I start to visualize things in my mind. I didn't before this. I didn't really visualize as much, but I have a lot of Jennifers in my head that I've been healing and that I keep with me. And she was just this young girl, little girl, and she was in a cage. I thought I had gotten rid of all of my cages, but I didn't. And she was in a cage, and she had like leaves in her hair, and her hair wasn't brushed, and she was just, it was like an animal that had been caught in a cage, and she was just feral because she wasn't seen, she wasn't heard, she wasn't understood, and she needed to find a way to at least be heard. And a way to do that was to lash out, to be pissed off, to do something to get the attention of her caregivers. And here I am, almost 40 years old, and I figured that out. And that's the first step, right? Once you start realizing what you have as a habit and why, then it's no longer a habit. If you continue to do it, if you continue to act that way without being aware, without unpacking it, without sitting with it, without taking away that way that you act, then it's no longer a habit, because you know it's a habit. So then it's a choice. I hope this helps. I hope you're able to sit with things that have gone on in your life especially when you were younger. And those are just two examples. There is a plethora of examples. Sit with it and find what your inner child needed. Did your inner child need to be seen, heard, and understood? Did your inner child need a hug? What did you need that you didn't get? And give it to yourself. Starting now. You can do that. You don't have to be perfect with it. I'm still working through some of my stuff. But now that you are aware, well, make yourself aware if you're not. And if you are aware, sit with it, work with it. It doesn't have to stay with you forever. You have the power within you to get rid of anything out of your life, get rid of any cage that you need to. You can do it. I love you.